We're sorry.
We're very sorry.
We're very
sorry.
Very
sorry.
We've been having very large technical difficulties with our special guest who was to join us this evening. We were really excited about it. We had lots of great content from the exotic climes of South Africa.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid that technology has failed us. You know, unfortunately, high-speed broadband is not yet not been rolled out to all parts of the nation as it was said to have been planned to do. Anyway, look, Northern Royal Albatross, again from the Cornell lab.
Yeah, we like that.
Sat there, brooding or incubating, difficult to know now, of course. But look at that, superb stuff, absolutely superb stuff. What a bird, what a bird.
What a privilege to be able to see an animal like this and get an insight into its life just by watching cameras. I mean, it's quite calming, isn't it?
Yeah, superb.
It's quite cosy.
Superb. But listen, we were watching this as we were trying to fix our technical difficulties, and we noticed a little intruder at the nest.
There was a little intruder.
Yeah.
A little kind of photo bomb.
Look in the foreground and you'll see an animal that
the little bottom
hops in. Now, this provokes a whole debate.
Big conversation.
Yeah, because this is European rabbit, and they were introduced into New Zealand in about 1830, where they are a non-native species. I doubt that they're going to be doing too much harm to the albatross, of course.
No.
But it's said that they're doing enormous economic harm to the agricultural crops. There you can see very clearly, look, that little rabbit hopping around in front of the Northern Royal Albatross at Taiaroa Head in New Zealand. So, what's the controversy? Well, Australia and New Zealand have taken a much harder line on their non-native species than we have here.
Yeah.
And they have all sorts of funding in place from government and private individuals to rid their countries of non-native species. And New Zealand globally are really, driving this more than any other country. And there is currently discussion as to whether they should introduce hemorrhagic fever. So hemorrhagic fever is, rabbit hemorrhagic fever is a disease which, unlike myxomatosis, doesn't seem to leave a few rabbits that are immune behind. It totally eradicates them. The disease is in the UK, it was introduced into the UK, and it's had a profound effect on our ecology, because although rabbits are not native here either, they were introduced initially, we think, by the Romans and then again by the Normans. And they were then farmed in their millions in warrens throughout the Middle Ages, all the way through to the 1700s. The meat was important, the fur was important, but of course they escaped from those warrens and got out into the countryside. And by the time we got to the 1930s, 40s and 50s, there were so many rabbits, they were damaging agricultural crops. So in the 50s, they brought in myxomatosis.
Yeah.
And then more recently, hemorrhagic fever has got into the country from Europe, probably deliberately, of course. The trouble is, it just wipes out rabbits, and they've been here for so long that quite a lot of our species are dependent on them.
They're a brilliant source of food for so much. Yeah.
Foxes.
Birds of prey.
Yeah, all sorts of predators. So in areas where the rabbits have disappeared completely, parts of southwestern Scotland, other parts of the UK, certainly around here.
Yeah.
When we first moved here, we had a small number of rabbits.
There was none.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I've seen a rabbit.
No, we just don't see them here anymore, and it's because that disease got in and has taken them out. However, in New Zealand, the problems that these non-native mammals, not just rabbits, but
rats is
cats.
A big issue. Yeah, I mean, I've been having lots of fantastic conversations with scientists from around the world for an upcoming project, and I was talking to some amazing scientist out in New Zealand who works on the kakapo, which is a fantastic bird. It's the heaviest parrot that we have around the world, and it is ground-dwelling species. People often say they look like old men because they kind of walk hunched over. They can't fly, you see, so they're kind of walking around in the undergrowth. They've got these massive bills that are much bigger than their face. So their face has they've got like a round disc, like an owl.
And also their plumage makes them look like a mouldy old carpet.
Yes. Well, I think they're a bit more attractive than a mouldy old carpet, but there we are. They're a really kind of charismatic, beautiful bird, and they are in a lot of trouble. They no longer exist on New Zealand mainland because of predation from these non-natives, and they now exist in these islands surrounding New Zealand. And there is a very intensive project, a fantastic project, going in to figure out exactly how they can reintroduce these birds back and keep the population going. There has been an increase in the population.
But getting rid of the non-natives first.
It's a real big, yeah. So they obviously are waiting to see what happens in terms of legislation with these non-natives, to see whether they can be brought back to New Zealand at some point safely. But yeah, fantastic and interesting.
Actually, we wrote about it in the book as well.
Yeah.
We read about it in Back to Nature, the book that we published before Christmas. All the details that are in that book actually about the campaigns that are running in New Zealand. And they're spending millions of New Zealand dollars on eradicating non-natives. And of course, as you say, it's paying dividends. Where they do get rid of them, Kiwi prosper. I mean, what you've got to think about New Zealand is until the humans went there, I think, wasn't there just one species of bat or two species of bat or something? There were no mammals there at all. All of the niches were occupied by birds. There were giant owls, there were giant eagles, there were, elephant birds, all sorts of things that were living there because the birds had evolved to fill those niches that were occupied by mammals elsewhere.
Yeah.
Then we took a load of sheep, deer, mink, rats, mice, stoats, all sorts of things in there. And now, of course, they've got real problems. But unlike many people around the world, they're not pussyfooting about. They are doing everything they can to get rid of them.
To deal with it, which is interesting. So there are lots of great projects going on. Anyway, lots of you are saying hello. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We've got Griff Bros, first time watching us live. Hello, Griff. We've got Louise, we've got Amanda, we've got Robbie, Esther, Jim, Steve, Anne, Michelle as well. Lots of people watching from all over the place, which is fantastic. We've got the States and Canada and Moscow. So it's brilliant. Prague too, all which is fantastic.
Before we just nip off of albatrosses, though, I've got to show you my gadget.
Oh yeah.
This is a gadget, and I'm really pleased about this. This is a thing called a hook pod, okay? And it was invented by some British inventors. And it's designed to help with the bycatch of albatross. Now, as you know, one of the problems they have is that when fishermen are using their long lines to catch fish, and they're very long lines, they run for kilometres with many, many hooks on them. They throw the bait over the side of the ship, and before it can sink, the albatross grab the bait because it's things they eat, like squid, not plastic squid like this one, but real squid.
Silicone.
Yeah, silicone. They grab them, and then the hook becomes, stuck in the albatross's beak or its throat, and it's dragged down and drowned. And when the lines are recovered, the bodies of the albatross are just thrown over the side. And we've mentioned before, when we've been looking at northern world, these animals are designed to live for, you can't say that about nature. These animals have evolved to live for 50 years or more. They're really slow in terms of their reproductive rate, so losing adult birds is terrible.
But there's also another issue with that, isn't there, is that the long lines actually impact more females than males, because it's the males that tend to reside in smaller territories, and they are up at higher latitudes as well. So the females are often caught with the long lines, causing this sex ratio, which causes problems for their reproduction too.
Top work.
Yeah, so this
Love
is
that. Anyway, this is Hook Pod, invented in the UK. Got a great website. Have a look at that. British invention, in a garage somewhere, in a shed. It's that sort of thing, by some very, very clever people. Now it's been rolled out around the world. All started in the early part of this century, back in about 2003. And look, here you can see the hook. Here's the metal hook. Here's the bait, the squid. Okay. A reproduction thereof. And then look, this plastic capsule is over the barbed part of the hood of the hook. And what happens is the fishermen put the squid on, they press the hook into this plastic capsule. It's then thrown over the side. And when it reaches a certain depth in the water, the hook pod opens like this, and the hook drops out, therefore able to catch the fish. But because it's of a greater depth than the albatross will dive down, and really those large albatross species like northern royals will only go down about a metre at most, maybe a little bit more. Some of the mollymawks, the middle-sized albatross, would go down for about 3 metres, so it doesn't have to go far down. Then it opens, and you can see here's the capsule that's been opened. And then, of course, they hope, might catch a fish, take the fish off. The next time, all the fisherman's got to do when he's baiting it is put it back in there, clip it back together like that. They last up to 3 years, these hook pods, so they're economically viable for the fishermen, and they provide a real practical solution to all of those albatross being killed. go onto the Hook Pod website. You can sponsor them on there. You can even buy your own Hook Pod. I bought my own Hook Pod. I wouldn't be without mine. The last thing I want to be...
When do you ever go longline?
I've not been longline fishing. It's not really my sort of thing, if I'm very honest with you. But if ever I was thinking of, you know, chucking something out in the river there to try and snare a stickleback.
Stickleback?
I don't know.
Dear.
But look, no, I've had this to demonstrate just how effective it is. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, do go on and have a look on that website. Very good. It's a great British invention, as I say, from a garage somewhere in Devon. But it's been great. Yeah, there's some really good people working on it, some ex-RSPB staff and all sorts of people. Hook Pod, look at that, I love it. I love those sorts of simple, practical engineering solutions that could save thousands and thousands of fantastic birds' lives, like those northern royal albatross. Now listen, we were going to have a special guest.
Well, I may have got word that it might be okay. Let's just wait and see.
Go on.
If we hear anything. But no. So unfortunately, we were planning on having the wonderful Michaela Strachan joining us. Oh, she's here. She has just arrived. Let's go straight to Michaela. Couple tech difficulties. We're just going to try going straight to her. Well, we've got her.
We're trying to link with Michaela at her home in South Africa because unfortunately she is unable to join us for Winter Watch, which starts this week, Tuesday, BBC 2, 8 o'clock. We will be there. Lots of exciting things coming up, a bit more of that later on. But very sadly, due to the restrictions that are in place, Michaela won't be joining us for Winter Watch this year. So we thought it would be very nice if we could have a chat with her in advance of our series. However, technical difficulties seem to be thwarting that. What's the current status, Fabian? Are we go or no go?
No.
Okay, we can't get hold of her at the moment, but thankfully you've been sending us some stuff.
Lots of great stuff.
Hey, what about this? Have a look at this little clip.
Good
One of the best birds in the world having a bath. No, that's not Audrey Hepburn dipping her toes in hot water. It is a female sparrowhawk here, or it looks, yes, that's female sparrowhawk there, look. And this was been sent in by Claire Lampard on Twitter. Look at that.
It's stunning, isn't it?
Oh.
What a thing. And this is the great thing about getting camera traps, because you never know what's going to come down to your pond or in your garden or anything. So, you know, you can buy camera traps pretty cheaply online and put them out in your garden.
Look at that tail.
Look what you can get.
Hey, look at that tail, like a big fan there at the back. Oh, I wonder what that bird's been murdering.
Yeah,
that
a few pigeons, I reckon.
Before it went in there for a bath. Look at that on the little stone. Oh, no, it's getting better. Look at that. A bird with dripping underparts. Oh, dear, that is absolutely sensational.
Oh, we have Michaela.
Oh, hold on. We've gone from a bird with dripping underparts to a lady in other parts of the world. Michaela, can you hear us? Are you there? It's like a cheap cartoon. It's like a cheap cartoon.
We couldn't hear her.
Made by some students in the 1970s.
It's fun with all this technology. So sometimes it works brilliantly, and other times it doesn't go.
We won't give up. We will persevere.
Yeah.
But so let's move on to our next clip that's been sent in, and this one by Simon Watts of one of Britain's most enigmatic birds. These are very difficult to get to grips with, but in fact, the next few weeks are probably your best chance to see one of these. It's a clip of a lesser spotted woodpecker, and for scale, we've got a blue tip. What's happening? Fabian is having a nightmare tonight. I'm so,
Fabian
is saying he's having his worst night ever in all of the SIBCs that we've done. He's bald. He's pulled all of his hair out. He's
stressed on the floor.
I think. Yeah, and so all those viewers in Moscow and United States. Normally we don't have these sorts of problems. I have to promise you that's the case. Anyway, Fabian, have we got the clip of the lesser spotted woodpecker and the blue tip? Oh, no.
Oh, it did go out. So we're not quite seeing what's going on.
Okay, let's have another look at it. Why not? It's top stuff. One of Britain's best little birds. Well, we're still not seeing it, which is making our life difficult. But there we are. We know that you are. So on the right-hand side, as I recall, the little woodpecker, diminutive size, and there you can see with the blue tits, not much bigger, is it? And that's what makes it so difficult to see, because when they're foraging, they forage a bit like blue tits. They're right out on the edge of not the branches, but the twigs. And of course, as soon as those, buds break and the leaves come out, then they become almost impossible to spot. So top tip for lesser spotted woodpecker is listen for their song in spring, which is distinctive, and their drumming pattern, which is distinctive as opposed to grey spot. On sunny mornings, they don't want to sing in the rain. I can't stand singing in the rain. Both the film and the idea of singing in the rain.
But it's what you do when you go out for a dog walk. You're always singing in woods, singing around the house.
No. But the thing is that they like a nice clear morning. They start singing, and before the leaves come out, so you've basically got like March and April, really, I suppose. Sometimes in February they'll start, depending on the weather. But they're singing principally, I would say, in April. And then you hear that song, you can go out and there's a chance you get a glimpse from before they.
I can't remember the last time I've seen one,
Well, no, we had that one calling, didn't we? In the woods.
We didn't see it.
No, I know we didn't see it because we heard it, but it was because the leaves are out.
Yeah, it's so nice. We've got to go and try and find it.
Leaves are out. Should we do a quiz?
Well, yeah, just quickly though, there's a comment that's come in which I find brilliant.
Is it get some batteries for your technology?
No, but that would be useful. Next time we'll make sure we've got everything ready. This is from Sandra Hillard. She says that her 11-year-old son Joseph is rubbing his thighs at the sparrowhawk.
Yes.
Brilliant. Hello, Joseph. We love that.
Top work,
bit
Joseph.
Of thigh rubbing. I'm very worthy of thigh rubber.
Now look, I've got a matchbox in my hand here. Here's the matchbox. This was a matchbox that was made as a sort of a giveaway by my father's company, Kemp Safe Limited. Look, Southampton 27582. This is how old that is. This hasn't even got a prefix dialing code for the landline. Makers of marine galley and heating equipment, Bitton Manor, Southampton, England. So I had this matchbox in my pocket in 1978, and I collected something from a bird that I found that had been killed by a sparrowhawk, I think, and this is it. So the question is, which bird did this come from? You've never seen this before, have you?
No.
It's one of my greatest treasures. Which bird did this come from? Collected in 1978 in the Lower Itchen Valley. Look at that. Now, I would beg to suggest that in the UK at this point in time, there are very few people who have got one of those in a vintage matchbox.
I'm very few people. I would say if there is anyone else with one of those specifically in a vintage matchbox, then that would be quite surprising.
I'm actually, this is one of my prized possessions. I know I always say that about some of my collection.
I
know, not everything, but this is very special. Anyway, I've got to tell you as a clue, at the time when I collected it, I divided those feathers into two. And do you know what I did with the other half of the feathers?
Go on. What?
I made an earring for my then girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah.
That's quite nice.
Yeah. And I made a little earring. I bought an earring and I took the piece of sort of plastic pendant that was in it out, and I glued the feathers in it and it would hang down, and I glued them so. And she wore that throughout the late 70s, all those punk gigs that we went to.
It's quite a good one.
Yeah.
It's quite a good suggestion, a good answer has already come in for the quiz. Toby Robinson has asked, is this Fabian's hair?
He's pulled out.
But we have Michaela, so let's try and go to Michaela.
Let's try it again.
Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you. No, we can't.
I mean, we have a lot of technical issues here because at the moment we're dealing with obviously COVID restrictions, an alcohol ban, a curfew, but now as well, which means we don't have any electricity at the moment. We're standing around with 4 different phones to get on 4G. So we work very hard to come to you. I text you, you can see me. I mean, hear each other.
You're quite robotic, Michaela, but
Yeah,
we can kind of make things out.
listen, we know you can't, unfortunately, be with us for Winter Watch this year, but are you now auditioning as a Cyberman for the next Doctor Who series?
Do you know, I've always wanted to be on Doctor Who. It's been my dream, actually, to be Doctor Who's assistant. So, yeah, maybe I am auditioning, Chris.
That would be quite good.
Okay.
How are you, Michaela? How is everything in South Africa?
Well, the numbers are going up as they are in the UK. Very sadly, the death toll is going up as well. Our restrictions aren't as hectic as the UK. We have a curfew between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. Well, 5 a.m. Restaurants are still open till 8 o'clock. A lot of places are still open. We're not allowed gatherings, public gatherings. You have to wear your mask when you're in a public place. And we have another alcohol ban. So this is our third alcohol ban. But the sun is shining. It's not at the moment, obviously, because it's what, 9 at night. No, hang on, 20 to 9 at night. So we're 2 hours ahead of you. So yeah, it's getting quite bad here, but as I say, we're still allowed out. We're not in complete lockdown like you are. But because of all that and because of the restrictions and the variant strains and things, it wasn't the right thing for me to do to come to the UK. So sadly, I won't be part of Winter Watch.
Well, we're going to miss you a lot, very obviously. Everyone will miss you. We could continue to have a sort of a cyber conversation with your Cyberman voice. But if not, can I suggest that we rejoin next week, because obviously we wanted to see
You've got some amazing stuff.
Firstly, you've been birding, unheard of.
Look, Chris, I've got a birding list. Look, you'll be so impressed. I went birding and I actually have a list. And in about 2 hours, I saw 40 birds.
That's amazing. I mean, we can't see your list at the moment.
No, you could be lying. It
Because
could be four birds.
we don't have your video up, but I believe you. Oh, that's brilliant. 40 birds is pretty good. You know.
But seriously, can you join us next week, next weekend, and then we can have a look at all of your fabulous content.
Yeah, because I've got so much great stuff to show you. So I think that would be good. I mean, as I say, we're really battling here because what happens when we have a power cut here is that everyone goes on their mobile phone. So then the 4G connection is unstable, I think. So that would be brilliant because I've got rhinos to show you. I've got lions to show you. You know, as I say, we can get out and about more. And so in December, I went on a safari. So I've got lots of really good stuff to show you. So I think that's the best thing. I'll come on next week. Good luck with Winter Watch on Tuesday. Obviously, I'm extremely frustrated that I'm not going to be with you guys. I know it's going to be brilliant and it's going to be the absolute tonic that everybody is looking forward to. So yeah, good luck and I'll see you next Sunday then.
All right,
Thank you,
see you next Sunday.
Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you next
Bye.
week. Next week it'll be a Dalek.
It'll be dark. Yeah, she'll have kind of evolved into even
She'll be
more of a cyborg.
wanting to exterminate us. I tell you what, take a look at this. This is a fabulous little film in which I learned something.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive.
No, but I've learned something which is really fascinating, actually. It's something I'd never thought about before. It's a film that was made by Alicia Hayden. It's voiced over by someone else, but Alicia has shot, written and edited this film, and it's about wood mice, but it's about something to do with wood mice you would never normally think about. There's some good facts in this. I really like
We
it.
love a good fact.
Yeah, look, here's Alicia's wood mouse film.
Wood mouse. In the midst of autumn, on the side of a busy bicycle and pedestrian path, you can still find some animals brave enough to survive in these pockets of urbanised wilderness. Wood mice are some of our commonest mammals in the UK, and with their large ears and eyes and long tail, they are easily recognisable. They are our commonest mouse species and form an essential part of many predators' diets. In fact, tawny owls won't breed if wood mice numbers are too low. Typically nocturnal, wood mice will venture out in the day when searching for food, and this juvenile mouse is busy feasting on fallen blackberries, providing an important mechanism of seed dispersal for the blackberry bush as well as sustaining itself. Often, wood mice will cache food in underground burrows, where they come back to it later in winter months or when food is short. Interestingly, wood mice tend to leave the flesh of fruits and eat only the pips. This juvenile mouse is carefully manipulating the blackberry, opening out the flesh and pulling out the small seeds, which the mouse loves. This mouse's small fingers grasp the blackberry tightly. But when the mouse is fully grown and sexually mature, the length of the phalange bones in her fingers will vary depending on whether she is male or female, an example of sexual dimorphism. This sexual dimorphism in digits has been recorded in many mammals, including humans, but was only relatively recently discovered to exist in wood mice. Our juvenile mouse is not yet fully grown, as adults are typically between 8 to 10 centimetres, with a tail between 7 and 9 centimetres. This mouse will continue to grow throughout the rest of autumn, before nesting communally with other mice underground. A group of mice is known as a mischief. Although young, this wood mouse may actually breed before the end of the year if there is enough food around to supply her and her offspring during winter, although litters in autumn and winter are normally a lot smaller than those born in spring and summer. After her feast of blackberries, our wood mouse cleans herself before returning to the undergrowth by the side of the pavement, hidden from the urban world once more.
What about that?
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
You never thought about
Amazing.
the digits being different in male and female.
No, I've never have known that. It's amazing,
Presumably that's so that they can feed in different ways on different things and not compete with one another in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, potentially.
It's like it's a physical dimorphism, and you saw that little mouse there nibbling those seeds. So perhaps females will be
able to get a different kind of
handle different, more effectively, other seeds more effectively, or males the other way around. So they definitely have some sort of spacing there in their niche. Otherwise, why would it persist? Why would it persist?
I'm sure there's some ecological reason for it, but that's definitely one interesting
fascinating stuff. And also, of course, the other thing is that the little wood mouse, the young one there, was eating the seed and not the flesh. And we always presume that those animals want the flesh of those blackberries because that's what excites us. The seeds get stuck in our teeth, and then you spend the rest of the day wandering around. Well, not when you're a kid, because your mum says, "Take your finger out of your mouth." You've got a blackberry seed stuck in your teeth, haven't you? It's like,
yeah, it's annoying. But I don't really go doing, whatever.
Well, because now you're always well equipped. You've always got your portable toothpick in your pocket, and
I never go near that.
Ready to use that. Yeah, fantastic stuff, really good.
Yeah,
and also thanks to Will Pierce, who did the voiceover for Alicia Hayden. Thank you very much, both of you, Will and Alicia, for sending that to us. Interesting stuff there about the old wood mouse. Great opportunity to get some shots of a little mouse as well.
Yeah, it's lovely. I love seeing little wood mouse. They're very adorable, aren't they? Are they cute? C word? Are they cute?
Don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
Anyway, skull of the day. Should we do the big reveal?
The big reveal. It's not a skull, though, is it?
Oh no, it isn't. It's a skull on the
right. I'll have one of these.
Quiz of the day. Oh, these are the bane of my life at the moment. These things.
Been eating these crisps. And rest assured that we're not being sponsored by Eat Real lentil chips here. Just that I've developed an addiction for them because there's 40% less fat, they're gluten-free, and of course, critically, they're vegan. So if you are taking in veganuary this year, maybe you're giving vegan food a try, just to see how you get on with it. There's nothing unreasonable about that, of course. I would suggest that you get yourself some Eat Real lentil chips, sea salt flavour. I am giving them out now, but we bought these. We're not being sponsored by these at all.
Single-handedly eaten most of this entire bowl. It was bulging before we started, and it's even munching in my ear.
There are 113 grams in a packet. That's 4 ounces, whatever an ounce is. I have no idea whatsoever. And I can quite capably of an evening nail one of these. Right, with the help of 2 poodles. They're rather partial to them, so I think they're like the salty nature. Hey, there's an impromptu ad for a Christmas company that we have nothing to do with, but I have a serious addiction to. Anyway, there we are. All right. Here it is. Did anyone get it right? Did they?
Oh, well, the quiz. We've got Will, Kate, Sandra, Debbie, Meza, Danny, Joan, Jane, AEB Photography, Paula, Gillian, Wildlife Rufus, Michelle, Val, Morgan, and Deborah.
What? We got it right.
Apparently so, yes.
What
well
about
done, everyone.
that? What about that? Yes. Well, I can tell you that this is the it's 50% of the head plume of a lapwing. And I found, look at that. There it is. There's the real thing. Look at that.
It's so cool.
What a crest. Oh, wonderful, aren't they?
It's amazing, isn't
Absolutely wonderful.
They're beautiful.
Lapwings were so much commoner when I was a kid. And in the 1970s, we could walk out onto the local water meadows, and every spring, they'd be rising above our heads, swooping and dipping with their, calls ringing out, driving us away as we looked for their nests on the ground. And they used to breed really successfully. Then we go back and their little chicks would be in the grass. They're lovely, their chicks. They've got like sort of brown cap, and then they've got white underparts. So when they nestle down in the grass, all you can see is the brown. But when they're standing up, they've got white underparts. Anyway, it was out on those water meadows that I found this bird, and it had been hit by something. It's pre-peregrine. We didn't have peregrines around in the Lower Itchen at that time, I'm afraid. So it was almost certainly a sparrowhawk. Sparrowhawks are one of the... Lapwings are hard to catch, actually, from predatory birds. Yeah. Female sparrowhawks will nail them, and I always thought it was a sparrowhawk. I did take a black and white photograph of this, the corpse that I got this from, using my Zenit E camera and a 50mm lens with Ilford FP4 film in it. And I do have that photograph.
Do you?
I still have the photograph of the dead lapwing. It wasn't accessible to me this evening. I'm afraid it's up in the loft at the moment. Anyway, there we are. So I photographed it, removed the crest. Some of it somewhere, hopefully still in the world, is forming an earring. And the other half of that crest lives in this matchbox. I'll leave it to you, my Will. You can have it.
Really?
Yeah, you can have it.
Really?
Yeah, you can make an earring out of it.
Can I?
Yeah, you could.
I could make an earring.
Yeah, it'd be quite easy to do.
Headdress.
Like that, yeah. There we are.
Yeah, I love that.
Fantastic. I'll put that back in the cupboard for the next, how long is that? 1978 until now? Doesn't bear thinking about, does it really? It's 42 years. No, 43 years. 2021 now, isn't it?
2021.
43 years.
Quickly,
yeah, I missed it. No. Anyway, there we are. Okay. Birthdays.
Right. Everybody's had a birthday again. It's brilliant. Lots to celebrate in lockdown, which is really nice. So we've got Andy Turner would like to wish his partner Heather Watson a very happy 50th on the 18th of January. Happy birthday to you, Heather. We've got Paula, the Manc Rock chick, wants to wish her best friend Janet a very happy birthday on the
Janet.
19th.
Happy birthday, Janet.
Happy birthday, Janet. Yeah, Alicia Lucas wrote in about her son Sam Lucas, who turns 21 on the 11th of January. Happy birthday, Sam, 21. That's a big one, always good fun. Birthday siblings, Billy and Yanni wrote in. Billy's birthday was on the 12th and Yanni's was on the 15th. They said that when lockdown is over, they're hoping for a joint celebration and a trip to the Isle of Wight, perhaps for some chips, but also to see the sea eagles too. What an amazing thing that would be. That would be really cool. Great reason to celebrate, going to see those eagles. A shout out to Sharon Spittle on the 17th of January, age 47, and to her son James Spittle, whose birthday is on the 18th of January, age 19. They enjoy every episode and haven't missed one. That's dedication. Thank you very much for that, and have a very happy birthday to both. We've got Emily Davidson would like to write in to wish Paul Wilding a very happy birthday for the 16th of January. You're munching away. You're munching through the birthdays. Honestly, he's like this in my ear, just munching these.
I'm covering my mouth.
Oh, I'm taking the bowl. It's over there. They can't be celebrating together, but sending him lots of love and can't wait till they can be back together again. So very happy birthday to Paul from Emily and from us both too. Darren Parker wrote in to wish his partner and wildlife enthusiast Nina Scotland a very happy birthday. Her birthday's on the 22nd of January, so very happy birthday, Nina. Nina works really hard as a volunteer for both the Essex Badger Protection Group and the South East Wildlife Hospital. Very happy birthday. Anton Parker wrote in to say happy birthday to his partner, Karen Stanbury, who had her birthday on Wednesday the 13th. She's been an avid follower of SIBC, a huge fan of Chris and his work over his career. And she's since returned to study ecology, wildlife and conservation at college, which is brilliant. Lots of birthdays, lots of birthdays.
Happy birthday to all of those people. I hope you get a present. If I was sending you one, I know exactly what I'd be wrapping up. I'd be wrapping up Eat Real Lentil Crisps.
So they're driving me mad.
Good for humans and canines.
Humans and canines. Also like to wish Michaela Strachan a very happy birthday for yesterday too.
Right. Winter Watch starts on Tuesday evening. All preparations are in play at the moment. We're starting tomorrow, aren't we, really?
We start tomorrow. We start having a few meetings, start getting into thinking about, all that's going to be included, which is fantastic. It's going to be some exciting stuff, I have to say.
I'm going out to nearly stop this, actually.
Yes, you are.
Getting my thermal camera out. I'm going on a little bit of a night safari with my thermal camera to see what we can find. I was out last night, found some good stuff.
You did?
I got to within 5 meters of a large omnivore. Yeah, a large omnivore.
I was out last night as well.
What were you doing?
Well, I got within about 10 centimetres of an invertebrate, which was kind of slimy and pretty cool too.
I love a slimy invertebrate.
Yeah,
I can imagine what that was on a damp night in the Midlands. So we're on Tuesday at 8 o'clock on BBC Two, running through to Friday. We've got 2 weeks this year as well.
2 weeks,
so we're
exactly.
back the following week. Lots of good stuff. Gillian is down in the West Country, of course, because none of us can move at this moment. We're moving about a mile to go and do our bits of it. Yolo is again staying at home. Rest assured, though, that we do have wildlife footage coming from all over the country. It won't just be the New Forest, Wales and the Southwest. We do have cameramen who were in place pre-lockdown.
Yeah. So we've got content coming in from Scotland, from Northern England. So we're all around and sharing stories from all around these locations, despite the fact that we can't physically be there as much as we had hoped to be. But of course, we've got to make sure that everyone stays safe in this current lockdown. Yeah,
so that's the plan. So we'll have footage beaming into us. I've seen some of it. We've got some fantastic stuff. Honestly, really good, actually.
It's pretty good.
The wildlife camera boys, as we call them,
and girls,
but we call them boys because it's a hangover from the time that they were all boys, have got some really cracking stuff, I've got to say. Really good stuff. So do join us at 8 o'clock. We're going to be keeping going with SIBC.
Yep.
After tonight's technical catastrophes. It's the worst one we've done in like nearly...
worst one we've done, perhaps.
Well, technically. I mean, the content was exceptional. We had hook pots.
Yes.
We had lapwing
vegan crisps.
We've had Eat Real Lentil. Well, we haven't had enough of them personally, but anyway, there we are. But we have had technical difficulties, and we apologise for that. And thanks for staying with us. We were struggling to get Michaela there.
We'll get her hopefully next weekend, and she'll be able to tell us lots more about her safari with rhinos, and we'll be transported somewhere lovely and sunny with lots of great biodiversity. So that's great. But what you can do that would really help us is please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, it doesn't cost anything. It's totally free. There was a comment suggesting that, to subscribe, you have to pay for it.
That's not if you do subscribe, you do have to pay something.
Yeah, if you're doing like
the wrong word.
Thing. Yeah.
YouTube have got the wrong word.
It's the wrong word.
You and Tube are okay, but subscribe is not working for me.
Subscribe is not quite right. It's totally free. Just go literally just below where you're watching this and press subscribe. Totally free, as I said. About 50% of everybody watching last week was subscribed, but by clicking that button, it means that you can keep up to date of exactly when we're going to be broadcasting, which is really important as we go forward, and we'll keep you up to date with all of our news via that. So click that button and it helps us a lot. Are you eating a squid?
I'm so hungry. I'm eating a plastic squid because you've taken my Eat Real lentil chips away. Anyway, in order to get back to those, we're going to have to say goodbye. We're going to leave you with the Northern Royal Albatross at Tyrow Head, courtesy of the Cornell Lab. Remember, All About Birds is a sponsored service, so do go to that website. It's not just the albatross, there's lots of other things you can catch up with there. Last week we were looking at birds in Panama, so there's plenty of things all around the world to excite you. It's one of the wonders of modern technology, if it works.
If it works. So we will see you on Tuesday for Winter Watch, BBC Two at 8 p.m. Otherwise, we'll be back for SIBC at 6 p.m. next Sunday. Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll see you next time.
Good night.